Hello, I'm AC Cash, and this is,
JD Boom.
and we're here to entertain, inform, give you a little bit of financial conversation, just from stocks, small businesses, and everything in between to help you multiply your earnings. So today, JD and I was sitting around, and there was some big news about Apple becoming the first $2 trillion company. $2 trillion.
A lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
A
A lot of money. And the conversation came up that what happens to the little guy? You know, $2 trillion is a lot of money, but there's a whole lot of little fish getting eaten up when one company is valued at $2 trillion. So when you go from the Amazons and you look at Apple and you look at the Walmarts, those are big companies.
Absolutely.
Those are big companies, and anytime big companies prosper so greatly, the little fish get eaten up. And so the topic of discussion for the most part is adapt or die. Adapt or die. There was a time you used to be able to go on the corner and you put your hand up and say, hey, taxi, taxi, and you get a taxi. But there was a lot of guys, a lot of girls, a lot of immigrants being employed by those companies. And what happened to the taxi industry? It got eaten up. Got eaten up by what? Uber, Lyft, and every other little guy that wants to be the next Uber and Lyft. There was a little hardware stores everywhere all across America. You know, you go buy your nails, buy your screws, buy all that, your little pieces of wood. And what happened? Home Depot. There you go. Lowe's.
That's right.
Big fish eating up all the little fish. So if there's one within 2 miles or a mile of your hardware store, guess what happens? You're gone like the horse and carriage. And so those things are going to happen. You're either going to adapt or die. That's in business. That's in your relationship, you know. All of a sudden.
That's overall for life, right?
Oh, that's for sure. Getting to the relationships.
That's a whole other topic right
other
there.
conversation.
Oh,
But we're either going to adapt or die. And so that kind of topic is a big topic for discussion, especially when you got $2 trillion companies.
Don't cut them down like that.
No,
Come on, Cash. Cash
me
is your
up.
name. Come
Cash
on, man.
rules everything around us. So we want to understand that.
That's
What
right.
do you think about that?
Man, I mean, you bring up some great points, some fascinating points, really. I'm still in awe, Cash, man.
Yeah.
$2 trillion. You know how
Big
much
T,
money?
Big T, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And then even when you look at earnings got reported this week for, Walmart, like Cash said, as well as Home Depot. And I mean, you're talking about billions of dollars free cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Billions in free cash flow. Why? Because COVID, they were designated essential, and they had to be open. And so that's the only game in town. And it was open, and they utilized it. I mean, hey, they followed the rules, but they utilized it, and they gobbled up. They've created super companies. I mean, these are companies on steroids. You haven't seen dollars like this, in a quarter system before, and they had some additional expenses. Even when you look at a smaller competitor in that space, the Home Depots and the Lowe's, Ace Hardware, more of an independent, private kind of ownership model,
Right.
non-traditional, not publicly traded in the way that Walmart or Lowe's is, but they had a record, reporting and earnings, as far as their numbers internally, and then their CEO was talking about the success that their company had. But it's largely privately held, independent hardware stores. A different model from a different time, right? Mm-hmm. So it's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's really the little guy hardware store now is Ace, which is still a big company, right?
That's right. That's right. Because you used to be able to get just a few things from your local hardware store.
Right.
But now the little hardware store is a big hardware store. So that just shows the kind of growth that happens in the industry. Mm-hmm. And you're either going to innovate or you're going to die. You're going to get on the road, be a big truck, or be the roadkill.
So Cash, what can they do to innovate? You keep saying that word, you keep throwing it around. What's one or two things? I mean, I know it's a whole list, mm-hmm. and that's getting your consultant hat on, and so I know you start thinking about business, crunching numbers, making money, doing what you've done for over 30 years. But I'm just saying, just like one or two.
Well, it's important to say innovation. So right now, COVID hit. Oh my God, COVID hit. Let's hide out in the house. Well, I know for me, looking around, I start seeing things to fix. Let's redo the deck. Let's fix the fence. Let's trim and paint. So that becomes a company that's going to get my money. And I'm not the only guy sitting home saying, what can we fix in the house?
That's right.
So that's where two ways to profit is to say what company is going to earn during this time. Okay. That's why Home Depot, Lowe's, those sorts of home improvement stores have had such tremendous growth. So while other things have had to close, they've been expanding. So that's in their industry. But secondarily, when you say, okay, what am I going to do for my company? Well, I know throughout some of our companies, people have had to stay home, but we still had to keep operating. What do you have to do? Zoom. You have to find ways to communicate with your employees and your customers in order for them to stay customers.
That's right. Okay.
So all of those innovations, like the technology pieces, are important. So it's easy to say, oh, well, it's a bad time. But people are getting paid during the bad time.
That's right.
So it's not bad for everybody.
That's right.
And so you can innovate by using technology to keep you going and to fuel your growth. Your growth through technology.
What, Cash, what came to mind when you said some companies are getting paid right now? I thought about something that a lot of people may not be thinking about they think about it from the entertainment side, but not the business side.
Okay.
And that's swimming pools.
I looked up swimming pools, God honest truth, last night.
Swimming pool, what'd you find? Costs going up, expensive, especially in the Northeast. It's like a 4-month waiting list. If you're in the Northeast, like the New York area, the tri-state area, in-ground pools up there is crazy.
I know, but it's a double-edged sword because they found more innovative ways to make them. They're not as extravagant a luxury as they used to be.
Okay.
I grew up in South Florida, and we had a swimming pool.
Oh,
that was a big deal.
That was a big deal back in the day?
One person in the neighborhood.
Only one with a swimming pool?
Right,
oh,
yes.
Wow.
So you'd go a couple miles before somebody else has one. Now, it's like a small room edition. You can get them from $10,000 on up to, obviously, hundreds of thousands. But $10,000 to $50,000, you can put an in-ground pool in your backyard. I even, through my research last night, they're buying containers, storage containers, cutting out the top, put stairs up to it, and now you got a 30-foot, 40-foot trailer filled with water, and then they just have to get the circulation going in it, and it's a swimming pool.
Wow, now that's new.
And it's very much cheaper because a trailer might cost you $2,000, and then you have to do the components on it. But all of a sudden, put a deck around it, and you got a swimming pool. That's right.
Man.
So that's innovation. That's not, they cost $30,000 and that industry is just an expensive industry. It's not when the innovators find that more people want it. And so in your businesses, you're sitting there thinking, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Everybody's contracting. While everybody else is contracting, you should be expanding. You should be finding those ways. The material's already there. Trailers aren't new.
Right.
Why 10 years ago you haven't seen trailers being swimming pools?
Hadn't
20 years
thought
ago.
about it.
Trailers have been there.
Repurposing.
They've been
right.
there. They've started making trailers into the little mini homes.
That's right.
And so at the same time, the same people making mini homes can get into pools.
Oh, wow.
The same people making trailers can get into retail businesses.
Oh, man. See, now you're giving them too much game.
Well,
now you're giving them too much
game.
I got to slow you down.
I
got to slow you down.
I got to give it to the people.
No,
man, that whole trailer industry, you can't just be selling to the people that's just pulling trucks. Now
truck
you got
drivers in the truck industry,
you
right? You
can't just sell there.
Right.
You shouldn't be contracting. You should be expanding, showing people how these things can be used, repurposed in the things that can make other industries cheaper, pools and homes. So don't sit there wringing your hands. It's a recession. This thing is terrible.
Right.
The government gonna give me some bread. Yeah, they might help. But
Right.
at the same time, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to
Right.
do to power your business, employ more people through innovation? Because either you innovate or die.
Man,
And death is a bad answer. So
Die.
let's live by innovation.
that's right. So hey, we see it now, team. We see it, family. You got to innovate. Innovate or die. Cash broke it down very eloquently. He went deeper than I would have. He tried to give y'all some real game, you know.
You gotta
But
get
that's for our members, you know. Our members get the deep down, step by step hand holding. You know, we're just giving you some of the information, some flavor, you know, some for you to chew on, and then you know you decide you want to become a member of the family. Once you're a member of our family, and so family can get access. You get to peek behind the curtain, and you get to see it all.
Yeah.
So we want to invite you to become family with us. Click that membership button. It's coming soon. Everything's coming soon. You got anything else, Cash?
Well,
we really should just shut it down right now.
Shut it
man.
down.
We should just shut it down right now.
The word is innovate or die, and we like to live life to the fullest. So we invite you to be a part of the Pivot Point Investors family. You can join, or you can keep riding the free bus, and you know you'll get information. You're gonna get those good tips, and we're going to help you grow your business, keep it strong. Even though everybody else is contracting, you can be on that winning team that's expanding. Innovate or die. I'm AC Cash. This is
JD. Boom!
coming at you and hoping that all your businesses are profitable ones.